I have started the Monica recording, and again I will request Kirti. Recording start again, please.
Yes, sir, starting.
Again, please invite Monica.
Okay.
Kirti again.
Yes, sir. Good morning, everyone. My friend Monica is going to present today's flip class on the topic NumPy. So, welcome, Monica, and over to Monica.
Thank you, Kirti. Good morning, everyone. And I'm going to present information about flip class. So, can I start, sir?
Yes, please go ahead. At least show your face once.
Face, sir.
Yes, and that will be recorded, no? For 2-3 minutes in the beginning, again in the 1-2 minute in the middle, like that.
Uh, One second, sir. I have some network issue.
You have joined by 2 logins. For that reason, it is not one or the official login. One personal login also I have accepted. So check that only just below of the screen, Google Meet, just make the video on. That's all.
It's like network, sir.
It
I'm
may
not
be
able
problem.
to.
So if it is not,
Yes,
if it is having the problem, then start, share your screen.
yes, sir. Start sharing the screen. Sir, is my screen visible?
It is coming now.
Yes, sir. Can I start, sir?
Yes, please go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. So today I am going to present you about NumPy. So in this PPT, we'll get to know about what is NumPy and how to create arrays using NumPy, array indexing, data types, copy and view, sorting and searching arrays. So basically, what is NumPy? NumPy stands for numerical Python, and NumPy is a library which is used for working with arrays. So it also has a functions for working with domain like linear algebra, Fourier transform, and matrix. And NumPy was created in 2005 by and it is an open source project, and you can use it for freely. So NumPy creating array. So how to create a array using NumPy? So this is a basic example program which is used for creating arrays. So NumPy is used for working with arrays, and this array object is called ND array. We can create NumPy array using the object ND, and we can call it using array function. So this program I'll execute and I'll show. So this is the array which I have created, and this type function is used to give the output like which type of object which we are using. This function is used for showing the type of object. So as I said earlier, here we are using ND array object for creating those arrays. And so how to create a one-dimensional array using NumPy? So we are importing NumPy as NP, and then we are creating an array, and using this NP, we are calling this array and assigning those values to a variable called ARR, and we are printing that array. So when I execute this program, we'll be getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as output.
Just Monica, 1 minute.
Yes,
Go to
sir.
the previous slide. Executing this one again.
This one.
Yes, executing it will come automatically the programming.com.
Sir?
Again execute, no? So at that time I have seen that online Python interpreter. So here this link programmage.com, this link online compiler you will be pasting also in your slide. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So one, and second, go to the previous slide.
Previous slide.
Yes, this one. So it is docs.google, your big data, from where it is.
It's Google Slides, sir.
Okay, so these two links, okay, you will be pasting here. Fine, go ahead.
So basically, we can create 1D array. Same in the way of creating 1D array, we can create even 2D array. So I'll execute this and I'll show. So this is the output of the program. So where we have created two-dimensional array, so output of this program will be 2 arrays. And we'll go for NumPy array indexing. NumPy array indexing is like accessing the array elements. So array indexing is same as accessing an array elements. We can access those array elements by referring those index numbers. So the indexes in NumPy array starts with 0, meaning that first element index is 0 and the second index is 1 and so on. So this program is used to get the first element of the array. So as you can see, the first element of the array is 1, so it is printing 1. Index of this first element is 0, so we are printing the array of 0, so it will be printed as 1. And this program is used to get fifth element from the second array. So this fifth element of the second array is 10, so it is printing 10. And we have data types in NumPy. So NumPy has some extra data types, and these data types refer with one character. Like if for integer, we'll refer it as I, and for unsigned integers, we'll refer it as U. So here are some of the integer types. So below, for integer we'll refer it as I, and for boolean B, unsigned integers U, float is F, and complex float is C, and so on. For time we'll refer it as M, and date time we'll refer it as capital M. Object will be referred as capital O, and string capital S, Unicode string U, and V is for fixed memory of chunks of other data types. And the NumPy array object has a property called dtype, which is used to return the data type of a particular array. And so here NumPy array copy versus view. So how copy and view are different from each other. So basically the difference between copy and view is, first, an array is copied. What is array copy function is, it is just used to copy the data to some other new array. And view is just to view the original array. The copy owns the data, and any changes made to copy will not affect to the original array, and any changes made to the original array will not affect to the copy. So as view does not own the data, and any changes made to view will affect the original array, and changes made to the original array will affect the view. So this program is used to show the copy function. So this is an array, has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then here we are copying that to array, and we are at index 0, we are replacing 1 by 42. So it will be replaced with 42. And in view, if we change it to 42, then two arrays will be affected, but in copy only the first array will be affected. So that means in copy it will not affect the original array, but in view it will affect both the arrays. And NumPy sorting, we all know what is sorting, like arranging the numbers in a sequence order. It can be either descending or ascending order. So in an ordered sequence, in any sequence that an order corresponding to elements like numeric or alphabetical in ascending or descending order, the NumPy ND array object has a function called sort that will sort a specific array. So this program is used to sort the numbers. So as you can see, the input is 3201 and the output is 0123. So this is a sorted form of this element. And this program is used to sort characters. So as I gave it banana, cherry and apple, but the output is apple, banana, cherry. So sort function for this is for strings. And searching the elements, searching elements is like searching a particular value in a given string. So we'll use where method for searching the values in a given string. So this program is used for finding the index where value is 4. So see, where array is equal to where value is 4, so the indexes of this is 3, 5 and 6. So output is 3, 5 and 6. That's all, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So that before handing over to the Kirti, so now today being your students, I will have two questions, madam. And I will be recording that question also. And here in the slide
Yes,
also you can write here the post assessment. Before thank you, they modify now. You can modify it. Thank you is written, no?
Yes, sir.
Here post assessment. Post assessment. Post hyphen assessment. Okay. Post assessment. Fine. Now, question number 1.
Question number 1, sir.
They are only type question number 1.
Yes, sir. I'll make a separate.
Okay. 1.
Yes, sir.
The first question we will be writing. The difference between NumPy array and Python list.
Array list, sir.
Array and Python list. NumPy array and Python list.
Yes, sir.
First you take that question. After that your choice. You can take any question. You cannot take also. Second question.
Yes, sir.
Difference spelling. Just difference spelling. Before C N is missing. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Second question. Second. Write 2 dot.
Sir?
Write second question. 2 dot.
Yes, sir.
How to sort NumPy array in descending order? Descending order. Ascending order is the by default. Descending order. DESCN.
Yes, sir.
DE, just add DE. Descending order. Fine. So those two questions from my side. Again, collect the questions. Kirti, are you listening, Kirti?
Yes, sir.
You can invite the question from the audience.
So the first question is difference between
No,
NumPy
that is my
and-
question being the student today. You invite the audience. If you are having any question, give them 3, 4, 5 seconds.
If anyone is having any question, they can ask.
Nobody is asking the question. What the names are appearing here? Hila, Sasi, Guddu, Kumar, Girish. Guddu, you want to ask something? Hila, Hirsikesh, Gauri, Kausiki, Kamana, Khagendra, Ji Raghu Babu, Abhishek K, Ganesha Shastri. Because once I am taking the 4, 5 names, no. So again, Gauri will not be angry on me that sir has not taken my name. Even she is present or not, I will have to take the name. Monica is already there. Monisha, Jigar, Jitesh Bhai, Nikita, Ishwarna, Kesai, Nikita, Nitin Suraj, Nitish Hegde, Onkar Patra, Prapti, Preeti, Preshila, Ramya, Vidya. Anyone having any question? No. So then you can ask in the chat box also now. Kirti, over to you. You can say, Monica, if you want to take these questions, you take that question. Otherwise, save it for the record. Monica, are you taking the question?
I need to explain it, sir.
Just you can explain, no problem. One line answer for the NumPy
Difference
array and Python list. Yes.
The difference between NumPy array and Python list is NumPy is a fundamental package for scientific computing in Python, and list is like
Array and
basic-
list. Array and list.
a list. Yes, sir.
By your
A list
like
is a
your
collection
rude
which is
student, I will be
ordered.
chanting repeatedly. Difference between array and list.
Difference between num array and Python list, no, sir.
NumPy array, because you have represented NumPy array, no? So the Python is having
sir.
the list also. So that for what reason array is also required? What is the difference between this array and list?
This NumPy array is for scientific purpose, and a list is a collection of list is a
Array and
collection
list.
which is ordered and changeable.
Anyone from the audience can take that question? Anyone from the audience can take the question? I will be giving you the data, Nagmohan. Any of that? Array is combination of similar data items. Array is combination
and
collection of similar data items, and list may have the different data items. For that, the NumPy array is required because only a string or only numbers. Now, to sort the NumPy array in descending order. By default, it is sorting in
need to write the
ascending order.
program.
For descending order,
Yes, sir.
hmm.
We need to write the program for sorting
No, in
that
that
in
only
descending
where you have
order.
written a sort. Sort where you have written,
sir.
no, there may be, I'm using the word maybe, comma, there may be, comma, the reverse equal to true. So that it will be sorting in
sir.
descending order like that. You will check it now. So now over to Kirti. Thanks to Monica.
Thank you, Monica, for your presentation.
Okay, now Monica, that you stop your presentation. Save it and stop your presentation. Stop sharing. Then I will start my presentation and wait. My screen is visible.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Monica, which of the assignment or quiz you want to be waived? Today I will be uploading the quiz 3 and assignment 3. Or you don't want
I'll
to be
inform
waived, you
later.
will submitting all.
I'll inform later, sir.
Later you will inform, fine. So now, okay, but I will have to mention here somewhere, yes. Flip class on 16th October 2020. So that is saved here and my seat is here now. From my side, the assignment 3 and quiz 3. Assignment 3
Yes.
and quiz 3 will be uploaded today. Assignment 3 is already uploaded and the time is 23 midnight to submit it, mostly from the regular expression and lastly one program. Only 4 questions I have given and a regular expression and finally the regular expression program also one, just to access the, if you want to see that, I can show also that assignment 3, ABP assignment 3, only 4 questions. So third question will have the 2-3 lines answer, but here the how write a Python code, extract phone numbers, 10 digits and mail IDs, creating a text file address.txt. So all the lines, a line may or may not have the phone number. A line may have both phone number, 10 digits, 10 numerical digits, and the mail IDs. The word without having any space in between, somewhere at the rate, so that you are searching the mail IDs and the phone number from a text file address.txt. So address.txt will be creating, for example, and I will have to check only that the same address.txt is copied by all or they have created, because when you are uploading the assignment, you are uploading also the address.txt 10 lines contents, and it is having the 2-line answer. Here I have given the 5, 6 their significance in the regular expression, question mark, star, plus, dot, grouping with parenthesis, curly bracket, the significance of caret and dollar sign. So one example again, how do we match multiple expression using pipe? A right example of raw strings also. So this is the assignment is already uploaded and the quiz will be activated at the end of the class. Today we are starting the 4th module and up to midnight you will have to submit the quiz 3. Quiz 3 was due, I think. So now at the end of the class I will be activating it just before 5 minutes of the class and asking you that it is activated now. Now today's we are starting this 4th module. We will be enjoying oops. So oops topic is the 4th module is given the topic classes and objects, not the oops, and you will be surprised to know that it is not in the text file 1. It is all the 4th unit. All the 4th unit contents are referred to second textbook. Think big in Python like that, second textbook, and their chapter numbers from 15 to 18, 15, 16, 17, 18 like that, or 13 to 18. So it is given here, and I have written at the last, I think, here, second textbook, Think Python, how to think like a computer scientist. And here it is, the book link is also given. I have also downloaded the link. You can also download because they have referred only these 5 chapters for this classes and objects from the second textbook. So I will be also uploading in the GCR the second textbook, and you have already done the C++ and Java and Python also, object-oriented programming, and it is the easier module and will be concluded faster. So here the author is not calling the class definition like the literal discussion what we are doing, that a class is a group of similar objects. A class is a group of similar objects. A class also represents objects type. What class do you belong? Are you not getting me? And class player, what type of class batsman is? Like that, we are using that particular, so that it also represents the object's type. An object is an instance of class. That the global definition you are chanting, you are writing. But here, technically, when we are writing the class keyword, the author says directly it is programmer defined type. Like that user defined data types, no? The composed data types you have taken, that arrays, structures, and these are the user defined or composed or derived data type. So here the author says class as the programmer defined data types, and attributes for objects, it is mentioning the attributes. And he has given some example of rectangles, instances, objects are mutable, copying the objects to other. A third question I have not asked the Monica, third question, at least third question you can add in your slide, Monica. What the third question you have? The copy and view. The copy and view, when you are copying, no, so it is taking the another array space in the memory, and so modifying the copy of that will not affect the original array. View is just a reference. View is just a reference of the another array. Once you are modifying one, the others also will be affected. So view refer to the same array. View refer to the same array, because DBMS is also going on, no? So there also you might have learned about that views. When you are creating a table, no? So that logical view are also representing. So that is not the actual taking a space databases. Okay. So we have used many of the Python built-in types. Now we are going to define a new type as an, it is taken from the second textbook. As an example, for what I am taking the textbook, no? So the examiners will be giving the marks. Sir, a student has written a class is a group of similar objects. He or she has written that it represents the object's type. And again, the here, like every people, the class is nothing but all the methods, all the data and methods operate on data are wrapped within a class. Like the technical definition they are giving also here. But here, in mathematical notation, points are often written in parentheses with a comma separating the coordinates. Okay, for coordinates, 0, 0 represents the origin and xy represents the point x to the right and point units up from the origin. So this is the, where is the coordinate of x and where is the coordinate of y. The x represents here the right side and y represents the origin. So there are several ways we might represent points in Python. We could store the coordinates separately in two variables x and y. We could store the coordinate element in a list or tuple. We could create a new type to represent points as objects. So if you are creating a new type, and that type what you are creating new type is more complicated than other options, but it has advantages that will apparent soon when next slides coming. The programmer defined type is also called a class. Last here it is giving the definition, and for what I have shared with you, if the university is going to conduct some online or TIUL or offline exam, so at that time, so examiners will be searching the answer what is written in the textbook, programmer defined type. The rest of the definition you will be writing by your own experience and expertise. The first line I will suggest to write in which way it is given in the textbook. Programmer defined type. It has given one example also. The two data members x and y coordinates are there. And if you are taking that coordinates, so we could create a new type to represent points as objects. The object is an instance of class. Similar definition may be given here also. So a class definition look like that. In Python, you are writing class point and you are writing a doc string comments. It represents a point of two-dimensional space. The header class, the header indicates that the new class is called point. The body is doc string that explains what the class is for. You can define a variable and methods inside a class definition, but we will get back to the latter. Yes, when we will get back to the latter, as it is written in the book, the next slide will come. Defining a class named point creates class object here. And here earlier courses of engineering, one module was there, UML, Unified Modeling Language. You are doing somewhere else in your mini project or not? So in which way these classes and objects are represented in the state diagram, object diagram, class diagram, reference sequence, all those diagrams. So here you have given here the blank and points are here. So point is the class name, and x having the value 3 and y having the value 4. It is having the 2 coordinates. We can say it a state diagram also, object diagram also. So point, you will just type the point no class you have defined, and here just coming back to the prompt, it will say that the class internally the main method is defined and one point object is defined for that. Because point is defined at the top level, its full name is main.point. The class object is like a factory for creating objects. The class object is like a factory for creating objects. To create a point, you will call point as if it were a function. Blank equal to point. You have given blank equal to point, and you are just creating, means blank is an object of point, in which we will have to declare the object in Python. It is given to write a class. Later we will come the next functions, how the methods within the class will be written. First, how to create an object blank equal to point and followed by a pair of parentheses. This concept we have got like constructors, and you are asking what is this blank. So it is object, and it is giving the reference where it is defined in the memory. Because the class is still abstraction, you know that all the classes are ADT. Till we are not declaring the objects, no, it will not occupy the memory space. For that reason, it is abstraction only. Definition of class is abstraction only. The return value is, we will come to the next class. Again, read this, and again we will be rediscussing and enjoying hours, 2 hours, classes, objects, features of OOPS. But in which way the syllabus starts, in that way I have taken the 5-6 slides. The return value is a reference to a point object which we assign to blank. So blank is holding what? The reference of the object. Creating a new object is called instantiation. For 1 minute question, review question. And an object is an instance of the class. And creating an object is called, when you are creating an object of a class, it is also called instantiation. When you print an instance, Python tells you what class it belongs to and where it is stored in the memory. So the prefix 0x means that the following number is in hexadecimal. That we know, sir. That we know that any hexadecimal is preceding the 0x. Not OX, it is 0x. It is 0x. Every object and instance of same class, so object and instance are interchangeable. Every object is an instance of same class. We are defining like that also. Object is an instance of the class. So object and instance, exchangeably, interchangeably, we are using these 2 words. But in this chapter, I use instance to indicate that I am talking about a programmer defined type. I have no objection what you want to call instance or what. The author has written in this way, I have also written. So now you are assigning values to an instance using the dot notation, what we are calling the member operator in C, C++ or Java. So blank dot x, object dot data equal to 3. Again, object dot another data, y equal to 4. The syntax is similar to the syntax for selecting a variable from a module, such as math.py or string.whitespace. In this case, though we are assigning values to named elements of an object, these elements will be called attributes. These x and y will be called attributes. As you have learned the structure, the members are also known as the attributes. In a database, when one row represents one tuple, the domain, the fields are also known as attributes, fields. Attribute is what? Individual piece of information about any entity. An entity and attribute is going on. Can anyone will respond here that what do you mean by an entity? I will ask last. First, I will have to conclude this. Entity attributes in DBMS. Here, we are telling here the records fields, tuple attributes. As a noun, attribute is pronounced with emphasis on the first syllable as opposed to attribute. Attribute, which is a verb. So the state diagram shows the results of this assignment. A state diagram that shows an object and its attribute is also known as object diagram. So previous diagram I have written is a state diagram. We are calling it now object diagram. So the variable blank refers to a point object. Variable blank refers to a point object. Blank is an object of class point which contains two attributes. Each attribute refers to a floating point number. You can read the value of an attribute using the same syntax. Like you're asking what is blank dot x, or x equal to blank dot x, and what is x? 3. The expression blank dot x means go to the object blank refers to and get the value of x. In the example, we assigned the value to a variable named x. So there is no conflict between the variable name x and the attribute x. That is blank dot x, it is separate variable x. Now, this format again, it is not writing here print, because on Python shell prompt print is not required, but in shell scripts you will be writing here the print. %g, %g, yes, it resembles the format specifier of C. The %f, G is also for the floating point and scientific notation. But here no comma is given, you know that. Only 1% symbol and what the value of the variable or the object data you want to display right here, it will be displaying here 3 and 4. And if you want to compute the math dot square root, so you are calculating the distance, but math dot square root here must be import dot math should be there. Import dot math. Okay, fine. Now you can pass an instance as an argument to the usual. For example, now writing the function diff print point p, and it is printing. Print points take a point as an argument and displays in mathematical notation. To invoke it, you can pass blank as an argument. Point blank blank. So this function is taking the reference of an object and it prints its data p dot x and p dot y. The blank has accepted as p and it is printing here the p dot x and p dot. Inside the function, p is an alias for the blank, what you're calling the parameters or argument. So if the function modifies p, blank changes. Because one thing also here to be notified and to be elaborated again, then when you are passing the object to a function, actually you are passing the reference. So it is called by reference and passed by reference only. It is not like call by value. You are passing the object's name to a function. By default, the reference of the object is passed. And they have taken the one again, another example after point, they have taken the rectangles. The rectangle will also have the width and height. And again, it is taking that what corner you want to say that box equal to rectangle. Box is an object of class rectangle. Box dot width, box dot height, box dot corner equal to point. And point you have taken there x and y, that is referred here. So that you can take that point reference to the corner. So that at particular box dot corner dot x 0 0, box dot corner dot y 0 0. So the expression box dot corner dot x means here go to the object box refers to and select the attribute named corner. Then go to the object and select the attribute named x. So here you can say it also gives the concept of this containership when one object holds another object. And because the point is the separate object and here the box is the another object rectangle. When you are telling that box dot corner equal to point, so again you are copying those particular data referring to the point, and again you are making the x and y coordinate 0 0. So in that way it is given here in the object diagram. If rectangle is an rectangle is a class, box is an object of class rectangle, and it is having the width and height. One corner member is also there. It is having the two members of the point referred here as the 0 0, x equal to 0 So it is given in the object diagram. You may be given one question to draw the object diagram by the VTU also. The instances as return value. Yes, function can return instances. So find center takes that rectangle as an argument and returns a point that contains the coordinates of the center of the rectangle. So here the function is written find center p equal to point. Point is the class name, you know that. P dot x equal to rectangle dot corner dot x plus rectangle dot width by 2, and p equal to y rectangle dot corner y. It is also 0, and what you have given that rectangle height 2. So just you are mentioning here at what point the rectangles will be drawn or rectangle will be displayed. But graphically it is not, it is only the value of the variables. So here is an example that passes box and argument and assigns the resulting point to the center. So center equal to find center box, and it will be saying here the 50 and 100. Because 100 and 200 were given, so 100 divided by 250 and 200 divided by 200. And here the objects are mutable. Mutable means the data of the object can be changed. It is not like that string and tuple, that immutable type. You can change the state of an object by making an assignment to one of its attributes. So here you are changing that box width equal to box dot width plus 50, box dot height equal to box dot height. So yes, it can be done. And again, you are passing here. You can also write the functions that modify objects. The grow rectangle takes a rectangle object and two numbers d width and d height and adds the number, the d width and d height to the existing object. So here is the example, and it is given here. The box dot width, box dot height, it is saying here 150 and 300. Grow rectangle calling box 50 and 100, and then displaying here box dot width and box dot height. So adding here 50 and 100, it is displayed. Inside the function rect is an alias for box. Rect is an alias for box. Here we have taken the rect. The rect is an alias for box. Rect is an alias. I should write it in the red color. As an exercise, yes, it is given exercise. Write a function named move rectangle that takes a rectangle and two numbers named dx and dy. It should change the location of the rectangle by adding dx to the x coordinate of corner and adding dy to the y coordinate of the corner. One exercise is also suggested. Just, I think it is just, I am going to give that you have already learned this copy and deep copy. So aliasing can make a program difficult to read, because change in one place might have unexpected effects in the another place. So it is hard to keep track of all those variables that might refer to a given object. So copying an object is often an alternative to aliasing. I have just told, Monica has told the view and copy. Here, the aliasing means you are referring the same thing with another name. Inna, minna, dika may be your call name in your house. Copying an object is often an alternative to aliasing. The copy module contains a function called copy that can duplicate any object. So here directly copy.copy. Yes, copy is the module. P2 equal to copy.copy. So P1 and P2 contain the same data, but they are not at the same point. Okay, so that P1 is P2, it is displaying here false. P1 double equal to P2, it is also false. This operator indicates P1 and P2 are, yes, we know, sir, that is equality test operator. The same as the operator checks the object identity, not the object equivalence. Yes, it is there. P1 is P2 equal to operator. That's because the programmer defined types Python does not know what should be considered equivalent. At least not yet. That is important line. So here you are copying, and box 2 is box, it is false. Box 2 corner is box corner, that is true, the value is true, but box 2 is box, no. So figure shows that here, in which way you have taken that box 2 and here the box, it is also having that. Here I have given something that reference it contains but not the embedded objects. So this operation is called a shallow copy because it copies the object and any reference it contains but not the embedded objects. Embedded objects means object copied to the other environment. Embedded objects, object copied to the other environment. The windowing having the feature OLE, object linking and embedding. That one picture is embedded in Word document. One photo is embedded in Excel sheet. For most applications, this is not what you want. In this example, invoking grow rectangle, one of the rectangle would not affect the other. But invoking move rectangle on the either would affect both. This behavior is confusing and error prone. Fortunately, the copy module provides a method named deep copy. The copy, I think we have already concluded it, copy and deep copy. It is telling the same thing, and I have asked the review question also. So deep copy, that copies not only the object, but also the object it refers to, and the objects they refer to, and so on. So you will not be surprised to learn that this is operation is called a deep copy. So the difference between copy and deep key, again, it will be repeated in the review question. Here it is the debugging. Now time is what? Time is 9:52. 9:52, and it is having only, yes. So debugging only, this slide only. So when you start working with objects, you are likely to encounter some new expectations. If you try to access an attribute that doesn't exist, you are getting an attribute error. So p equal to point, p dot x, okay, p dot y 4, but p dot z, it is telling there is no such instance, no as such instance, point instance is not having the attribute z. What the class members structures we are calling here the attribute. If you are not sure what the type of an object, you can ask what is the type of p. It is asking, it is classmate. You can also use the is instance to check whether the object is instance or not. Is instance p point. So here the p is the instance of the point class, true. If you are not sure whether an object has particular attribute, you can also use that has attribute. Okay, okay, that is also good, I think. The has a relationship. You should not be having the bullet point. Fine. So here, I'm making also this in red. So if you are not sure whether an object has a particular attribute, you can use the built-in function has attribute p, the p instance, p is the object of class point, p instance having any attribute x, in which way you are writing the x in closed within single quote. Yes, true. Has attribute pz, false. The first argument can be any object. The second argument is a string that contains the name of the attribute. You can also check by the try and accept. Otherwise, it will have to display the attribute error. And this discussion again we will do in the next class. So today I will be deleting. That was extra discussion on this here. This extra discussion on class and object. I will discuss another. Tomorrow is not your class, it is on Monday. So Monday will be on 19th. So lecture 25. 19, I will save it first. And then I will delete this one. This one, and this glossary is there. Glossary also I can take in the next class only. Let it be. I don't want to give that. Glossary, class activity, review question, Review question time is also not there. So let it be reviewed in the next class. So that is the, now it is the time to activate the, quiz of today. Today, up to today midnight, you can give here that. So just I'm activating the quiz 3. So now quiz 3 is activated, submit it today to score full marks. And here, so now it is the time to enter your attendance. Otherwise, 3 minutes time are there to enter your attendance by entering your USN only. And anyone just please respond, which name is appearing. Nikita Ishwarna, check in the Google Classroom that link of quiz 3 is active now. Anyone please? Monisha, please check.
Yes, sir.
Okay, active now, fine. So okay, that I'm stopping the recording. If you have already entered your all attendance, or I'm waiting 1 minute more. Everyone has entered their USN. You can take time in the lunch period to answer the quiz question, or after today's session at after 4 p.m. also. Mehul Sakaria joined today. I am proud of you. Enter your USN, get the attendance, and leave that meeting. Everyone has entered. Stopping the recording.